My beloved soul, stop for a moment. This is not a coincidence, and it is not just another message passing through your screen. Something urgent has been released into your life at this exact second, and if you feel even the slightest pull in your spirit right now, it is because Archangel Michael himself is reaching toward you. Yes, you. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today, August 16th, has been marked in the unseen realm as a divine turning point, a sacred opening where healing is no longer delayed, no longer distant, but standing right at your door, waiting for your permission to enter. Listen carefully, because what is about to be revealed is something most people will ignore, and by the time they realize it, the moment will have passed them by. Here's a window open over your life right now, a rare alignment where heaven has decided that enough is enough. Enough of the silent suffering. Enough of the hidden tears. Enough of carrying wounds that were never yours to carry alone. Archangel Michael is standing in authority, sword lowered not for battle, but as a sign of protection and release, declaring that your healing is ready. But there is one condition that cannot be ignored. You must choose to receive it. Do you understand what that means? This is not automatic. This is not something that will force itself into your life without your agreement. There are many who pray for healing, who cry out in their darkest moments, but when the answer finally arrives, they hesitate. They question. They doubt. And in that hesitation, they unknowingly close the very door they begged heaven to open. But you were guided here for a reason. There is something deep within you that already knows this message is different. You can feel it in your chest, can't you? That quiet stirring, that unexplainable awareness that something bigger than logic is unfolding. That is not your imagination. That is confirmation. That is the whisper of Archangel Michael, calling you into a moment that has been prepared long before you even realized you needed it. What makes today so powerful is not just the offer of healing, it is the urgency attached to it. This is not a message you can set aside and return to later. There are divine moments that come and go like a passing wind, and those who act within them experience transformation that cannot be explained in human terms. But those who delay often find themselves wondering why the breakthrough never came. You are standing at the edge of something life-changing. The pain you have been carrying, the confusion, the heaviness that sometimes feels like it has no name, it is all being brought into the light right now. Not to shame you, not to expose you, but to free you. Archangel Michael is not asking you to be perfect. He is not asking you to have everything figured out. He is asking for one thing only: your willingness. Because healing has already been released. The question is, will you receive it before this day ends? Take a breath and listen closely. This is only the beginning. There is a reason why this moment feels different, why your spirit feels alert, almost as if something unseen is pressing gently against your awareness. August 16th is not just another date on a calendar. It carries a spiritual imprint, a divine frequency that has been prepared long before you ever arrived at this point in your life. Archangel Michael is revealing that today holds a rare alignment between heaven's intention and your personal journey, where the weight you have been carrying is no longer meant to follow you forward. In the unseen realm, there are moments when divine timing intersects with human readiness. This is one of those moments. You may not have felt ready before. You may have believed that your wounds were too deep, your past too complicated, your pain too heavy to be lifted in a single day. But heaven does not operate on human limitations. What feels impossible to you is not impossible to the divine forces working on your behalf right now. Archangel Michael is standing as a guardian over this moment, ensuring that what is being offered to you is protected, pure, and powerful. There is no confusion in this message. There is no delay in what is being released. The only variable in this entire equation is your response. That is why this day has been marked with such urgency. Because the opportunity is real, but it is also time-sensitive. You may be wondering why today? Why now after everything you have gone through? Why not earlier, when the pain first began? Why not at the moment when you needed it most? But what you must understand is that healing is not only about timing, it is about alignment. And right now, something within you has shifted, even if you cannot fully explain it. Something has softened. Something has opened. Something has reached a point where it is finally ready to let go. That is why you are hearing this message. There have been signs leading up to this moment. Small nudges, repeated thoughts, unexpected emotions rising to the surface. Perhaps you have felt a sense of restlessness lately, or an unexplainable desire for change. Maybe memories you thought were buried have started to return, not to hurt you, but to be released. These are not random experiences. These are signals that your spirit has been preparing for what is happening right now. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that your healing is not something distant or abstract. It is not something you need to chase or earn. It is already here, already present, already waiting. The energy of restoration had been activated over your life on this specific day, creating an opening that allows what was once blocked to finally begin to move. But there is something even deeper you must realize. This moment is not just about removing pain. It is about restoring what was lost. There are parts of you that have been hidden beneath layers of disappointment, fear, and exhaustion. Parts of your joy, your confidence, your peace. These are not gone forever. They have simply been waiting for the right moment to return. And that moment is now. Still, the presence of this opportunity does not mean it will automatically unfold. Many people stand in front of open doors and never walk through them. Not because the door is locked, but because they hesitate, question, or feel unworthy. That is the silent barrier Archangel Michael is addressing right now. You are not here by accident. You are not hearing this by chance. You are standing in a moment that has been designed specifically for your breakthrough. The alignment is real. The timing is exact. The invitation has been extended. And as this realization settles into your spirit, something within you is beginning to awaken. Because deep down, you already know this is your moment. Listen closely now, because what is about to be revealed may challenge everything you thought you understood about healing. You have been told your whole life that healing comes with time, that it slowly unfolds, that one day, some distant day, you will wake up and feel free. But Archangel Michael is stepping forward right now to correct that belief. Healing is not delayed because it is distant. Healing is delayed because it is waiting for one thing. You have been holding back your full permission. You see, there is a difference between wanting healing and truly receiving it. Many people say they want to be free, but deep inside, there are layers of resistance they do not even realize they are holding. Fear whispers to them, "What if I am disappointed again?" Doubt tells them, "What if this doesn't last?" And past pain echoes, "You've tried before, what makes this different?" These voices create a silent barrier, one that no external force can break without your consent. Archangel Michael is not here to force healing into your life. He is here to stand beside you, to guide you, to protect you. But the final step must come from you. And that step is not complicated, yet it is deeply powerful. It is the decision to let go of the need to control how healing happens. It is the willingness to trust even when your mind cannot fully understand. It is the quiet but firm declaration within your soul that says, "I am ready." But here is the truth that many are not told. Choosing to receive healing can feel uncomfortable at first. Because healing is not only about removing pain, it is about releasing the identity that was built around that pain. You have lived with certain wounds for so long that they have become part of how you see yourself, part of how you respond to the world. Letting them go can feel like stepping into the unknown. And yet, that is exactly where your freedom is waiting. Archangel Michael is showing you that the resistance you feel is not a sign to stop. It is a sign that you are standing right at the threshold. The closer you are to breakthrough, the louder those inner voices may become. But they are not your truth. They are echoes of what you have survived, not a reflection of what you are becoming. Right now, in this very moment, you are being asked a simple but life-changing question. Not by the world, not by other people, but by heaven itself. Will you receive what has already been given to you? This is not about deserving. This is not about proving anything. You do not have to earn what is being offered today. The healing has already been released. The only thing left is your acceptance. And acceptance does not require perfection. It requires openness. Close your eyes for just a second and feel into your heart. Beneath the noise, beneath the doubt, beneath the memories of what has hurt you, there is a quiet place within you that knows the truth. That place is not afraid. That place is not broken. That place is ready. Archangel Michael is standing in that space with you right now, holding the energy of protection, guiding you gently, but firmly toward your decision. There is no pressure in his presence, only clarity. And that clarity is this: the door is open, but it will not remain open forever. Time is moving. This day is unfolding. And with each passing hour, the opportunity to step into this exact moment of alignment is narrowing. Not because healing will never come again, but because this specific window, this exact alignment of divine timing and your readiness, is unique. Do not let hesitation steal what hath been prepared for you. Say it within yourself, even if your voice trembles. Say it even if part of you still doubts. Because the moment you speak it, something begins to shift. I choose to receive. Let those words settle into your spirit. Let them move through every part of you that has been waiting for this permission. Because the instant you choose, heaven responds. Type "I receive my healing" in the comments if this message is aligning with your spirit. Blessing code 333 is now activated over your life. And as this sacred moment deepens, understand this: you are not walking through this alone. There is a greater movement happening, and you are part of it. Right now, as this message reaches you, it is also reaching countless other souls who are standing at the same threshold. This is not just a message, it is a divine ripple moving across hearts that are ready to awaken. When you respond, when you engage, when you allow yourself to be part of this moment, you are helping that ripple grow stronger. I feel led to tell you this. When you sow into a moment like this, you are not giving to a channel. You are fueling the spread of light. Just as seeds are planted into the ground and later return as a harvest, every act of support becomes a vessel through which this message continues to reach those who are still searching in darkness. As it is written, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." This is not just a verse. It is a living promise speaking directly into your moment right now. If something in your spirit is saying, "I want to be part of this," then do not ignore that nudge. That is your connection to the mission unfolding. There are ways to support through Super Thanks or directly through PayPal, with links available in the description, and even through the QR code present in each video. This is your opportunity to step into alignment not just for your healing, but for the healing of others. And hear this clearly: as you give, as you respond, as you move in faith, Blessings are released back into your life in ways you may not even expect. This is not just support. It is participation in something sacred. Step into it. There are wounds within you that you have learned to live with so quietly that even you sometimes forget they are there. Not because they heal, but because you adapted. You adjusted your reactions, your expectations, your boundaries, all to protect yourself from feeling that same pain again. And over time, those hidden wounds became part of your daily existence, shaping the way you see others, the way you trust, the way you love, and even the way you see yourself. But hear this clearly, what you have learned to live with was never meant to stay. Archangel Michael is bringing light into those hidden places right now. Not to overwhelm you, not to reopen pain without purpose, but to reveal what had been silently influencing your life for far too long. There are emotional scars that still carry the echo of words spoken over you, moments where you felt unseen, unheard, or unworthy. There are disappointments that taught you to lower your expectations, to guard your heart, to prepare for outcomes that would not hurt as much if they went wrong. And perhaps the most difficult truth is this: some of these wounds have convinced you that they are simply part of who you are. But they are not. They are experiences you passed through, not identities you were meant to carry. There are also deeper layers, the kind that do not always show themselves clearly. The heaviness you sometimes feel without explanation. The sudden waves of doubt that seem to come out of nowhere. The moments when you question your worth, even when everything around you seems fine. These are not random. These are signals of unresolved pain that has been waiting for this exact moment to be acknowledged and released. Archangel Michael is not asking you to dig through your past with fear. He is guiding you to recognize what has already been surfacing within you. You may have noticed it recently. Old thoughts returning, emotions rising unexpectedly, memories appearing when you least expect them. This is not regression. This is preparation. Because what is hidden cannot be healed until it is brought into the light. And right now, the light is here. Here is something powerful happening as you listen to these words. You may feel a sense of vulnerability, a quiet stirring that makes you aware of things you have not thought about in a long time. Do not resist it. Do not push it away. This is not meant to harm you. This is the beginning of release. Archangel Michael stands as a protector in this process, ensuring that what comes forward does so in a way that leads to freedom, not fear. You are not being asked to relive your pain. You are being invited to release its hold over you. There is a difference, and the difference is where your transformation begins. Think about the areas of your life where you feel stuck, where patterns seem to repeat no matter how much effort you put in. Relationships that follow the same painful cycle. Situations where you feel overlooked or misunderstood. Moments where you hesitate even when opportunity is right in front of you. These patterns are not coincidences. They are reflections of what had been left unresolved. And today, those patterns are being interrupted. This is why the message is urgent. Because the longer wounds remain hidden, the more they quietly shape your reality. But the moment they are brought into the light, their power begins to weaken. And when you choose to release them, that power is broken completely. You are not as bound as you think you are. There is a version of you that exists beyond this pain. A version of you that is not weighed down by past experiences, not limited by fear, not defined by what went wrong. That version of you is not far away. It is already within you, waiting for the moment when the old layers are finally removed. And that moment is now. Archangel Michael is guiding you gently but firmly toward this realization. You are safe to let go. You are safe to release. You are safe to step out of what has been holding you back. But understand this, recognition is only the first step. And now that the wounds are being revealed, a decision follows. Will you continue to carry them, or will you allow this moment to become the point where everything begins to change? Because the light has already found you, and once something is brought into the light, it can never remain hidden the same way again. Something is shifting around you right now, even if you cannot fully see it. This is not imagination, and it is not coincidence. Archangel Michael is revealing that the moment you began to open yourself, even slightly, to this message, a divine response was activated. Here is movement happening in the unseen, a rearranging of energy, a breaking of barriers that once felt immovable. What you are experiencing is not just awareness, it is intervention. You may have noticed subtle changes already. A thought that suddenly feels lighter than it did before. A memory that no longer carries the same weight. A small but noticeable sense of calm entering places where there was once tension. These are not random feelings. These are signs that something has begun. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that healing does not always arrive in dramatic, overwhelming waves. Sometimes it begins quietly, like a gentle shift in the atmosphere of your soul. But do not mistake its gentleness for weakness. What is happening right now is powerful beyond what your eyes can see. There are forces that have held certain patterns in place within your life. Cycles of fear, doubt, hesitation, and emotional heaviness. These patterns may have felt permanent, as if no matter how much effort you put in, they would always return. But in this moment, those patterns are being disrupted. The grip they once had is loosening. This is the intervention. Archangel Michael is standing in a position of authority, cutting through what has been holding you back, even in ways you are not fully aware of yet. Think of it like chains that have been wrapped around your spirit for so long that you forgot they were even there. You adapted to their weight. You learned how to move with them. But now, those chains are being removed. And as they begin to fall away, you may feel something unfamiliar, lightness. At first, this lightness can feel strained. You might even question it. You might wonder if it is real or if it will last. This is where many people step back, where they retreat into what feels familiar, even if it is painful. Because sometimes, the unknown feels more uncertain than the struggle you have learned to manage. But Archangel Michael is urging you not to retreat. Stay in this moment. Stay present with what is unfolding. Because this is not temporary. This is the beginning of a deeper transformation that will continue to unfold as long as you remain open to it. The intervention that has started today is not limited to a single moment. It is a doorway into a new way of being. You may also begin to notice external signs aligning with what you are feeling internally. Conversations that bring unexpected clarity. Situations that shift in ways you did not anticipate. Opportunities that appear at just the right time. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations that the healing process is not only happening within you, but also around you. Everything is being adjusted to support your release. And here is something even more powerful. This message itself is part of the activation. The fact that you are hearing these words right now is not random. It is intentional. It is a direct response to your readiness. Archangel Michael is using this moment, this connection, to guide you through a process that is already in motion. You are not waiting for healing to begin. It has already begun. The question now is whether you will stay aligned with it or pull away from it. Because alignment requires presence. It requires trust. It requires you to remain open even when your mind tries to analyze or question what is happening. Not everything needs to be understood for it to be real. Some of the most powerful transformations happen beyond the limits of logic. Take a moment to feel into your body, into your breath, into your heart. There is something different there now, even if it is subtle. A difference is the evidence that something has shifted, and as this shift continues, Archangel Michael is reminding you of something important. You are not being changed into someone new. You are being restored to who you have always been beneath the layers of pain. This is why the process feels both unfamiliar and deeply familiar at the same time. Because what is emerging is not foreign. It is your true self, the version of you that was never meant to carry what you have been carrying. Let this realization settle within you. The intervention has already started, and what comes next will depend on how you choose to walk with it. There is one force that quietly determines whether healing fully enters your life or slowly slips away, and that force is belief. Not surface-level belief, not something you say out loud just to feel hopeful, but the deeper, quieter belief that lives beneath your thoughts. The belief that speaks when you are alone. The belief that forms your expectations before anything even happens. This is what Archangel Michael is addressing now, because even though healing has already begun, what you believe will decide how far it goes. You may not even realize how powerful your belief system is. It has been shaped over years, through experiences, disappointments, words spoken over you, and moments that left a mark on your spirit. And without noticing it, you may have formed quiet conclusions about yourself and your life. Thoughts like, things never work out for me, or I always end up back in the same place, or even, maybe I am just meant to carry this. These are not just thoughts. These are agreements. And today, Archangel Michael is calling you to break those agreements. Because here is the truth. You cannot fully receive healing while still believing that your pain is permanent. You cannot step into freedom while secretly expecting things to fall apart again. This is where many people become stuck. Not because healing is unavailable, but because their belief system does not allow them to hold on to it. But something powerful is happening right now. The moment you become aware of these beliefs, you gain the power to change them. Archangel Michael is guiding you to see that belief is not something fixed. It is something that can shift, something that can be rewritten. And you do not need to have perfect faith to begin. You only need to be willing to believe differently than you did before. Even if it feels unfamiliar. Even if part of you resists it. Even if your mind tries to pull you back into old patterns. Because belief is not built in one moment. It is strengthened through choice. Right now, you are being given a choice to believe that healing is real for you. Not just for others. Not just for stories you hear. But for you, in your life, in your situation. And that choice may feel small, but it carries enormous power. Archangel Michael is reminding you of something that many forget. Faith is not the absence of doubt. Faith is the decision to move forward even when doubt is present. It is the willingness to say, I may not understand everything, but I am choosing to trust this moment. And that choice opens doors that doubt cannot keep closed. Think about this for a moment. Every time you expect disappointment, you prepare yourself to receive it. Every time you assume things will go wrong, you align yourself with that outcome. Not because you are causing it intentionally, but because your belief shapes how you respond, how you act, and what you allow into your life. But now, you are being invited to align with something different. To expect healing. To expect peace. You expect that this moment is not just temporary, but the beginning of something lasting. And yes, that may feel unfamiliar. It may even feel uncomfortable. Because you are stepping out of what you have known and into something new. But that discomfort is not a warning. It is a sign of growth. Archangel Michael is standing with you in this shift, strengthening your spirit, reminding you that you are not doing this alone. Every time you choose to believe, even in the smallest way, you are aligning yourself more deeply with the healing that has already begun. And slowly, something changes. The doubt that once felt overwhelming begins to quiet. The fear that once held you back begins to loosen. The heaviness that once felt constant begins to lift. Not all at once, but step by step. This is how transformation unfolds. Not through force, but through alignment. Not through pressure, but through trust. And as this shift continues, you may begin to notice something new emerging within you. A quiet confidence. Not loud or overwhelming, but steady. A sense that maybe, just maybe, things can be different this time. That feeling is not false hope. That feeling is the beginning of faith. And Archangel Michael wants you to hold on to it, to nurture it, to let it grow. Because the stronger your belief becomes, the more full you will experience what has already been released to you. You are not the same person you were before this moment. Something has already shifted within you. And as you continue forward, the question is no longer whether healing is possible. The question is how deeply are you willing to believe it? Right now, something sacred is unfolding within you, and it is time to move deeper into it. This is not just about understanding your wounds anymore. This is the moment of release. The moment where what has been carried for so long is finally allowed to leave. Archangel Michael is not only revealing what has been hidden, he is now guiding you through the act of letting it go. Take a slow breath and become aware of your inner space. Not your thoughts, not the noise around you, but the quiet place within your chest where emotions live. There may still be heaviness there. There may still be tension, tightness, or even a sense of resistance. That is okay. You are not being asked to force anything out. You are being invited to allow it to leave. There is a difference. For so long, you may have tried to push pain away, to ignore it, to bury it under distractions or strength. A true release does not come from force. It comes from surrender. And surrender is not weakness. It is trust. Trust that you no longer have to carry what once felt necessary to survive. Archangel Michael is standing with you right now, creating a space of protection so that you can release without fear. You are safe in this moment. You are not alone in this process. And what you are about to let go of does not define you. It only leaves you lighter. Bring your awareness to anything that feels heavy within you. It could be a specific memory, a feeling of regret, a sense of guilt, a fear that has followed you for years, or even something you cannot fully name. Whatever it is, do not judge it. Do not analyze it. Just recognize it. Now imagine, just for a moment, that you are no longer holding on to it. Imagine what it would feel like if that weight was lifted completely. If your heart felt open, your mind felt clear, your spirit felt free. That version of you is not a fantasy. That is the version of you that exists when this burden is released. And that release can begin right now. Archangel Michael is extending his presence toward you, not in force, but in invitation. He is asking you to hand it over. Not tomorrow. Not later. Now. Because the longer you hold on to it, the longer it continues to shape your experience. But the moment you release it, its influence begins to fade. You may feel emotion rising as you do this. You may feel tears, or a deep breath that feels different than before, or even a quiet stillness. Let it happen. This is not something to control. This is something to experience. Say it within yourself, gently but clearly. I release this. I no longer carry it. Feel those words as you say them. Not just as thoughts, but as a decision. Because that is what release truly is, a decision to stop holding on to what no longer serves you. Archangel Michael is moving with you in this moment, lifting what you are letting go of, removing what has been weighing you down, clearing space within you for something new to enter. You may not see it, but you can feel it. That shift, that lightness, that subtle change, that is the evidence that something is leaving. And as it leaves, something else begins to take its place. Peace. Not forced peace, not temporary calm, but a deeper, steadier sense of stillness that comes from within. The kind of peace that does not depend on circumstances, that does not disappear when challenges arise. This is the peace that has always been available to you, but could not fully settle while you were still holding on to what needed to be released. Stay in this moment for a second longer. Notice what feels different now. It may not be dramatic. It may not be overwhelming. But something has shifted. And that shift is real. Archangel Michael is reminding you that this is not the end of the process. It is the beginning of a new state of being. Every time you choose to release instead of hold on, you strengthen this transformation. Every time you let go of what tries to return, you move further into freedom. You are no longer the version of yourself that had to carry everything alone. You are stepping into a version of yourself that knows how to release, how to trust, how to allow healing to flow naturally. And as this new state settles within you, understand this: what you have just done is powerful. More powerful than you may fully realize. Because the moment you release what was holding you back, you create space for everything that has been waiting to enter your life. Feel the shift that is happening within you right now, because this is the moment where everything becomes more urgent, more real, and more decisive. What began as awareness has now become activation. What started as a gentle opening is now turning into a call that cannot be ignored. Archangel Michael is speaking with greater intensity now, not to create fear, but to awaken clarity. Because the window that has opened over your life today is still here, but it will not remain open forever. Time is moving, whether you feel it or not. And this is where many people lose what was meant for them. Not because they were unworthy, not because the blessing was taken away, but because they delayed. They told themselves, "I will think about it later," or "I will come back to this when I feel more ready." But what they did not realize is that divine moments are not designed to wait for comfort. They are designed for response. Archangel Michael is making this clear. This is not the time to step back. This is not the time to question what you have already felt. This is the time to act on it. Because something has already been set in motion for you. The healing that began earlier is not meant to remain partial. It is meant to deepen, to expand, to fully transform the areas of your life that have been touched. But for that to happen, you must remain aligned with it. You must stay open, stay present, and most importantly, stay willing. Do not let your mind pull you out of this moment. Do not let doubt return and whisper that this is temporary. Do not let fear convince you that things will go back to how they were. Because the only way that happens is if you step away from what is happening now. Archangel Michael is reminding you that alignment is not passive. It is active. It is the choice to remain in the flow of what has been released, even when your old habits try to pull you back. And yes, those habits may try to return. Old thoughts may resurface. Old emotions may attempt to rise again. But now, you are not the same as you were before. Now you are aware. And now you are equipped. Now you had a choice. And this is where the urgency becomes sacred. Because every moment you stay aligned, every moment you choose trust over doubt, every moment you continue to receive instead of resist, you are strengthening the transformation that has begun. You are anchoring it deeper into your life. But every moment you hesitate, every moment you disconnect, every moment you fall back into old patterns, you weaken that alignment. This is why this message is so direct. Do not delay what your spirit already knows is real. There is something within you right now that is saying, "This matters." That voice is not random. That is your inner knowing, your connection to the divine, recognizing that this moment carries weight. Honor that voice. Follow that voice. Because this is not just about today. It is about what today unlocks for the rest of your life. Archangel Michael is standing firmly with you, not stepping back, not withdrawing, but holding this space open as long as you remain present within it. The energy of healing is still flowing. The support is still here. The transformation is still active. But you must meet it halfway. Take another breath and feel where you are right now compared to where you were before this message began. Something has changed. Even if it is subtle, even if it is quiet, it is there. And that change is your confirmation. Do not ignore it. This is your moment to say yes fully. Not halfway. Not with hesitation. But with clarity. Yes, I receive. Yes, I allow. Yes, I step into this. Because the moment you fully commit, something locks into place. The healing that was beginning becomes established. The shift that was starting becomes anchored. And what once felt uncertain becomes real. Type "I step into my healing" in the comments if you are choosing to stay aligned. Blessing code 888 is now released over your life. And as this sacred urgency settles within you, understand something deeper. This moment is not only about your healing. It is part of a greater movement, a flow of light reaching those who are ready to awaken. When you respond, when you engage, when you support what is happening here, you are helping that light reach further. This is not about giving to a platform. This is about becoming a vessel through which this message continues to spread. I feel this strongly. When you sow into this moment, you are planting into something eternal. Like seeds cast into fertile ground, your support becomes a harvest of transformation in lives you may never even see. The word says, "Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy," and this is that living moment where your action carries spiritual weight. If something within you is saying, "I want to be part of this," then follow that leading without hesitation. You can support through Super Thanks or directly through PayPal, with links provided in the description and through the QR code in each video. This is not just support. It is participation in a divine flow. And hear this clearly, every act of giving releases blessing. Not someday, not eventually, but in ways that begin the moment you align with it. Do not hold back. Step into it. What you are stepping into now is not just a moment of healing. It is the beginning of a transformation that will reshape the way you experience your entire life. Archangel Michael is revealing that when healing is truly received, it does not remain hidden inside you. It begins to express itself outwardly, touching every area of your reality in ways that feel both natural and extraordinary at the same time. Imagine waking up without that familiar heaviness pressing against your chest. Imagine moving through your day without the constant undercurrent of worry or tension that once followed you everywhere. This is not a distant dream. This is the reality that begins to unfold when what you have released no longer defines your inner world. There is a version of you that exists beyond the patterns you have known. A version of you that responds instead of reacts. A version of you that trusts instead of fears. A version of you that no longer expects disappointment before something even begins. That version is not separate from you. It is what emerges when the weight of the past is no longer carried into the present. Archangel Michael is showing you that this transformation will not feel forced. It will feel like a return to clarity, a return to peace, a return to a sense of wholeness that may have felt distant for a long time. You will begin to notice it in the smallest moments first, in the way you think, in the way you speak to yourself, in the way you respond when something unexpected happens. Situations that once triggered anxiety may begin to feel manageable. Conversations that once felt overwhelming may begin to flow more easily. Even your perspective on yourself may begin to shift, moving from self-doubt toward quiet confidence. This is how transformation reveals itself, not all at once, but in consistent, undeniable changes that build over time. And then, something even deeper begins to happen. The relationships in your life start to shift. Because when you are no longer carrying the same wounds, you no longer respond in the same ways. You begin to set different boundaries. You begin to attract different energies. You begin to recognize what aligns with your peace and what does not. Some connections may grow stronger, becoming more honest, more supportive, more aligned with who you are becoming. Others may naturally fall away, not through conflict, but through a quiet understanding that they no longer fit the version of you that is emerging. This is not loss. This is alignment. Archangel Michael is guiding these changes with precision, ensuring that what remains in your life supports your growth rather than hinders it. You are not being left alone. You are being repositioned into a space where your healing can continue to expand. And beyond relationships, there is something else that begins to awaken within you: purpose. When you are no longer consumed by what has hurt you, you begin to see possibilities that were once hidden. Ideas begin to flow. Desires that you may have ignored or suppressed begin to rise to the surface. A sense of direction begins to form, even if it is not fully clear yet. This is because healing creates space, and in that space, your true path begins to reveal itself. Archangel Michael is not only restoring what was lost, he is guiding you toward what is meant for you next. And that guidance will not feel confusing. It will feel like a quiet knowing, a steady pull in a certain direction that feels right, even if it requires courage to follow. You are not the same person you were before this moment. And because of that, your future will not look the same either. There will be moments where you reflect on who you used to be, on how you used to think, on how you used to feel. And in those moments, you will realize just how much has changed. Not because you forced it, not because you struggled to become different, but because you allowed yourself to receive what was being offered. That is the power of this moment. And as this transformation continues to unfold, Archangel Michael wants you to hold on to one truth: you do not need to rush it. Healing has already begun. Transformation is already in motion. Your role is not to control it. Your role is to continue allowing it. Step by step. Moment by moment. Joys by joys. Because what is unfolding within you right now is only the beginning of what your life is about to become. There is something you must understand as you move forward from this moment. Healing is not leaving you unprotected. It is not exposing you to the same patterns, the same pain, or the same cycles you have already endured. In fact, the opposite is true. As you receive this healing, a new layer of protection begins to surround your life, one that you may not always see, but will begin to feel in ways that are unmistakable. Archangel Michael is not only a messenger in this moment, he is a guardian. And as you have opened yourself to this process, you have also opened yourself to a higher level of spiritual protection. This means that what once affected you deeply may no longer have the same access to your energy, your emotions, or your decisions. You may begin to notice it in subtle ways. Situations that once drained you may now feel easier to step away from. Conversations that once pulled you into conflict may no longer trigger the same response. People who once influenced your emotions may seem to have less control over how you feel. This is not because the world around you has suddenly changed. It is because you have. And with that change comes a new level of awareness. Archangel Michael is sharpening your ability to recognize what aligns with your peace and what does not. Where you may have once ignored certain signs, you will now begin to see them clearly. Where you may have once questioned your intuition, you will now begin to trust it more deeply. This is part of your protection. Because protection is not only about being shielded, it is also about being guided. You are being guided away from what no longer serves you and toward what supports your growth. And that guidance will not always come in loud or obvious ways. Sometimes it will be a quiet feeling, a sense that something is not right, or a sudden clarity that helps you make a different choice than you would have before. Do not ignore those moments. They are not random. They are part of the protection that is now active in your life. Archangel Michael is also surrounding you with a sense of strength that goes beyond what you have relied on in the past. This is not the kind of strength that comes from pushing through or forcing yourself to endure. This is a steady, grounded strength that allows you to stand firm without being overwhelmed. You will begin to feel it in the way you carry yourself, in the way you respond to challenges, in the way you hold your boundaries without fear or guilt. This strength is not something you have to create. It is something you are receiving. And as it settles within you, it changes the way you move through the world. There may still be challenges ahead. Life does not suddenly become free of all difficulty. But what changes is how those challenges affect you. What once felt overwhelming may now feel manageable. What once felt impossible may now feel like something you can face with clarity and confidence. Because you are no longer facing it alone. Archangel Michael is walking with you. Not behind you. Not distant. But present. Guiding your steps, protecting your path, and ensuring that what you have received today continues to grow rather than fade. And here is something important to remember. Protection does not mean isolation. It does not mean closing yourself off from the world or avoiding connection. It means moving through life with discernment, with awareness, and with the ability to recognize what is truly meant for you. You are not being separated from life. You are being aligned with it in a healthier, more balanced way. As this protection becomes more active, you may also notice a shift in your environment. Opportunities that align with your growth may begin to appear. Situations that once felt blocked may begin to open. Paths that once seemed unclear may begin to reveal themselves step by step. This is not coincidence. This is guidance. Archangel Michael is not only helping you release the past, he is helping you step into what comes next with clarity and support. Trust that. Trust that you are being led. Trust that you are being protected. Trust that you are being positioned for something greater than what you have known before. And most importantly, trust that what has begun in this moment is not fragile. It is supported. It is sustained. It is real. Because the same presence that guided you into this moment will continue to guide you long after this message ends. Now everything comes down to this moment. Not the past, not what you have been through, not even everything you have felt up until now. This is the moment where the truth becomes clear, where the question that has been quietly building finally stands directly in front of you. Will you fully receive what has been given to you, or will you let it pass? This is not a question meant to pressure you. It is a question meant to reveal you. Because deep within, beneath every thought, every emotion, every hesitation, there is a knowing. A quiet, steady voice that has been guiding you throughout this entire experience. And that voice already knows your answer. But sometimes, the mind tries to interfere. It begins to analyze, to question, to create reasons to wait. It may tell you that you need more time, that you need more proof, that you need to feel completely certain before you step forward. But Archangel Michael is speaking clearly now. Certainty is not what opens the door. Decision is. You do not need to have everything figured out to say yes. You do not need to feel perfect to receive healing. You do not need to eliminate every doubt before you take this step. All you need is willingness. Because willingness is the doorway through which everything else flows. Right now, you are standing at a crossroads. One path leads back to what is familiar, the patterns you know, the thoughts you have repeated, the weight you have learned to carry. It may not be what you truly want, but it is what you recognize. It feels predictable, even if it feels heavy. The other path leads forward into something new, something lighter, something freer, but also something unknown. And that unknown is where many people hesitate, not because it is dangerous, but because it requires trust. Archangel Michael is standing at that crossroads with you, not forcing you in either direction, but making one thing very clear. You are ready. You may not feel completely ready. You may still have questions. You may still feel a trace of fear. But readiness is not about the absence of those things. It is about your ability to move forward despite them. And you have already shown that. You have stayed with this message. You have allowed yourself to feel. You have recognized what needs to be released. You have opened yourself to something greater than what you have known before. That is readiness. So now, the decision is yours. Not tomorrow. Not later. Now. Because this moment will not remain exactly as it is. The clarity you feel right now, the connection you sense, the openness within you, this is the result of alignment. And alignment is something that must be maintained through choice. If you step away from it, it fades. If you stay within it, it strengthens. Archangel Michael is not asking you for something complicated. He is asking you for a simple, clear, and powerful response. Say yes. Yes to healing. Yes to release. Yes to stepping into a version of yourself that is no longer defined by what has hurt you. And as you say yes, not just with your words but with your intention, something final begins to shift. It is not loud. It is not overwhelming. But it is undeniable. A line is crossed. A decision is made. And once that decision is made, everything begins to align with it. The healing that was offered is now received. The transformation that was beginning is now anchored. The path that was opening is now chosen. You may not see all the results immediately. You may not understand every detail of what will unfold next. But what matters is that the shift has happened. And that shift changes everything. Archangel Michael is looking at you in this moment, not with judgment, not with expectation, but with knowing. Because he sees what you are becoming. He sees the strength within you. He sees the freedom that is already beginning to take shape. And he knows that if you choose this now, there is no going back to who you were before. Only forward into who you are meant to be. Beloved soul, take a deep breath now and feel what has settled within you. The urgency that once pressed against you has now softened into something steady, something calm, something real. Of which what's it called has thou become a presence, and that presence is peace. Archangel Michael is still here, not distant, not fading, but surrounding you in a quiet assurance that what has begun within you is not fragile. It is not temporary. It is not something that will disappear when this moment ends. What you have received today has already taken root within your spirit. and from this point forward, it will continue to grow. You may not feel everything at once, and that is okay. Healing does not always arrive as a sudden wave. It often settles like a gentle light, slowly filling every part of you that once held darkness. And as it does, you will begin to notice the difference in your thoughts, in your emotions, in the way you move through your days. There will be moments when you pause and realize something no longer feels the same. The weight is not as heavy. The fear is not as loud. The past does not hold the same power over you. That is how you will know this was real. Archangel Michael is placing a covering of peace over you now, sealing what has been released and protecting what has been restored. You are not leaving this moment empty. You are leaving it renewed. And even when life continues, even when challenges arise, even when you face moments of uncertainty, you will not return to where you once were, because something fundamental has changed within you. You have chosen, and that choice carries power. From this day forward, August 16th will not just be a date. It will be a turning point, a moment you may look back on and realize that was the day everything began to shift. Not because everything became perfect overnight, but because you stepped into alignment with something greater than what you had known before. Archangel Michael wants you to remember this. Healing is not something you lose. It is something you continue to walk in. Each day, each choice, each moment you remain open, you strengthen what has already been given to you. So do not worry about holding on to it perfectly. Do not fear that you will lose what you have received. Simply continue to allow it. Continue to trust it. Continue to walk it. And as you do, you will find that the peace you feel now becomes a part of who you are. Let this moment end not with pressure, but with calm assurance. You are safe. You are guided. You are restored. And you are not alone. Type "I am healed and at peace" in the comments if you receive this fully. Blessing code 1212 is now sealed over your life. And as this peace settles deeply within you, understand this: what has happened here is not just for you alone. This message, this moment, this divine encounter is part of a greater flow that is reaching souls across the world who are still waiting to feel what you have just felt. If your heart is stirred right now, if something within you is saying, "I want others to receive this too," then listen to that calling. This is your moment to become a vessel of light. As the word speaks, the one who sows generously will also reap generously. And this is not just a verse. It is God speaking directly into your spirit, inviting you into action. Say within yourself, "I choose to be part of this mission." Because when you give, you are not just offering support. You are helping this healing message reach someone who may be on the edge of giving up. Your seed becomes their breakthrough. Your obedience becomes their answered prayer. You can release your seed through Super Thanks or directly through PayPal, with the links waiting in the description and the QR code placed within each video. Do not delay what your spirit is prompting you to do. This is a prophetic moment of alignment. And hear this blessing: every seed you release into this mission will return to you multiplied, bringing peace, provision, and divine favor into your life. Step into it now. Act on it, and let your obedience become part of someone else's miracle.